Hi there, hope you are well. It is a sunny autumn day here today, so much sunshine, and this after weeks of it being cloudy, so it feels so nice when the sun is out again. So yeah, today I thought we would talk about ideas, having them, developing them, and this is something that I've been talking about over on my Instagram stories a little bit. I've been having a couple of polls to see if, what you think about ideas, if you struggle with it. And I had a poll where I asked if you struggle with having the ideas, choosing ideas for projects, and developing those ideas. Sort of getting through and beyond the idea stage, and some 70% of you said that you did, so I thought we would talk about the idea process today. And as you may know, I have just a couple of weeks ago decided that I will keep going full-time in my business, and I've quit my job. And after making that decision, I've been toying around with a lot of different ideas for the future of my business. So of course I'm going to keep doing creative coaching as well, one-to-one creative coaching, but as I mentioned in my last video, I'm also going to start doing some more group things. And I've been exploring what I want that to look like, how I want to do that, and playing around with a lot of different ideas. So I thought it would be timely to talk about this idea process. And so in this video, I want to take you through 3 steps that I think we go through with an idea to develop it and to have it in the first place and then develop it. And then I'm going to leave you with an exercise that you can do to spark new ideas as well. So let's dig into it. Okay, so the first phase of the idea process is the inspiration phase. So I believe that ideas come from inspiration both inward and outward. So we look around us in the world for things that inspire us. That's how most ideas start, I would say. Or it starts with something inside of you. But it's a play between inside and outside. That's what I believe. And in this inspiration stage, so you will be looking around you. And the looking is important to take note of things, not just wait for inspiration to come, but to actually go out and look for inspiration. So this might look very different depending on what kind of creative project you want to do or are in. So for example, let's say you have a blog about interior design. So if you want inspiration for that blog, you are looking around you. You're looking at you're looking at Pinterest perhaps, you're looking at other people's homes, you're looking at your own home, you're looking maybe in magazines for new trends, and that is the outward inspiration that is coming to you. And you're looking around, you're taking in inspiration. It might be, if you're a writer, that you're reading books. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as the thing you want to do. For example, I often take note of quite widely different things that I'm inspired by. It might be one book, it might be a podcast, might be an Instagram account, and they are all inspiring me. And then look for, what is it about them that is inspiring me? Looking for that curiosity and see, what is it that I'm inspired by these things? Because often we can find the common threads in things. And of course you can be inspired by different things that don't connect, but often we'll see a thread as well. So one thing that I've noticed in the last couple of months is that I'm very inspired and interested in conversations and the nuance and things that are not as, step, like the how-tos and the perfect sort of path to do things. Not the whole answers, but I'm interested in the complex conversations and the experience and life. So those things are inspiring me a lot at the moment, and they are in very many different things. They're in podcasts, books, fiction, so Instagram, in my own conversations with my coaching clients, of course, in the workshops I've held. So yeah, these are the strands of inspiration that are sort of circling outside of me. And then we have the other side of it, looking inward for inspiration, and to have your inward inspiration play with the outward inspiration. So this sounds a little bit abstract, but let me explain what I mean by this. So, for example, when I'm writing a blog post, for example, I will often have inspiration for a blog post from something that I'm going through in my creative journey. So over the time that I did my 6 months business leap, a couple of those blog posts were about the experience for me of taking this leap, shifting my habits, going through and exploring my scarcity mindset, those kind of things. And that is the inward inspiration. So whatever we are experiencing or going through, that can be what it's like to be us in the world. That can be an inspiration for creative projects as well. And when we are looking at things on the outside that are inspiring, the key is to pair it with something on the inside as well. So we will filter all the outside ideas through our own values and experiences and who we are, our taste, our style. That's what makes things and inspiration our own, and not just something that we look to others and say, that was an interesting idea that I saw someone else do, or that was a good book that I read and that I loved, but I don't want to write that book because that book really already exists and it's not my book, not my style, but I can still take something from that thing that inspired me and bring it into my own and make it my own and filter through my experiences and my inspiration. So at this stage, things are still very much vague. The inspiration phase is just for opening up and seeing and taking note and looking at what's around you and feeling inspired by it. So that is the first phase. So for the second phase, I've been joined by Alice Cat, and Alice has the cone of shame at the moment. She's carrying it very bravely, and not with shame, but with a little bit of annoyance perhaps. So yeah, she has been licking on some small wounds and she can't leave them alone, so she has to have the cone for a little while, unfortunately. But she's doing very well, and hopefully it won't have to stay very long. So for the second phase, this is what I like to call the puzzle piece phase. And so when you're looking outside of yourself for a lot of inspiration, and you're looking for what resonates, what sparks your interest, what sparks your curiosity, what I want you to do, and what we do when we sort of explore and develop ideas, is that we start to grab hold of these little puzzle pieces. So there will be something that sparks your interest, something like, okay, if you're that interior design blogger, maybe there's a certain color that keeps coming back and you're really inspired by that color, and that piques your interest, and it's a puzzle piece It's maybe this yellow puzzle piece and you don't know where that puzzle piece fits in or what kind of puzzle that puzzle piece will lay, but you have the little puzzle piece and you have decided to grab hold of it and see where that might lead. So, for example, with my inspiration at the moment and being inspired by conversations and the complexity, that is a puzzle piece for me, and I don't know where that fits in. I don't know what that would lead to, or I didn't in the beginning. I'm starting to have those ideas, but yeah. So in the beginning, you're gonna have a lot of different inspiration. There are going to be a lot of different things that speaks to you, that are interesting, and when you're just at that inspiration stage, you can't see where that would lead. You can't see, okay, I have this thing that I'm inspired by, but I don't know where it fits in. I don't know what I want to do with that yet, and that's part of the process. That's completely okay. And I think sometimes this is where people get stuck, because we see things that are inspiring around us, but we don't know what to do with that. Or we have one puzzle piece and we never get further than that puzzle piece. So at this stage, in the second phase of the idea process, just gather these puzzle pieces. Try to note them down. Okay, what is it that is inspiring to me? Is it the conversations? Is it that color, that yellow color in the interior design, or whatever it is that is inspiring in your life? Try to note that down and don't worry too much about where it would fit in. Just explore that and note that and gather your puzzle pieces. And sometimes you will end up with different puzzle pieces and you were like, okay, this doesn't fit together. I can't see how this will match. But sometimes things just click eventually. And that will lead us into the third phase, which is laying the puzzle. So when you have these different puzzle pieces, to start developing these ideas, this is the next step, right? So in the first phase, we are just inspired by things. In the second phase, we gather different things that have been inspiring us, that are our puzzle pieces. And in the third phase, we start developing those ideas. And here's also where I think we need to take that next step, because ideas don't arrive fully formed to us. Ideas don't arrive as a laid puzzle. Sometimes they will arrive in bigger chunks, but usually they don't arrive fully fledged. Usually we have to develop those ideas. And this is what I think when we're not used to the creative process. In the beginning, for me, when I was working on my first novel, for example, I was not used to the creative process. And so this is a craft, this is a process that you will learn as well to, okay, I have this idea, and how do I go from idea to developing that idea? And it's like laying a puzzle. And this exact process will look a little bit different from project to project, from person to person. But for me at least, and for many of the clients that I work with, it feels like laying a puzzle. So you'll know, okay, I have this piece that I'm very interested in, and I'm gonna go forward with this puzzle piece and see if I can fit other things together with it. So you'll think, okay, what are the missing pieces? Or what is the big thing that I want to, what is the big vision that I have, and how could this puzzle piece fit into that vision? And I think that this is the work that we really have to do to develop our ideas and to make them our own as well. So here it comes back again, that filtering through your own view of life, your own interest, what sparks your joy, what is interesting to you, and your style and sort of perspective on things. Here's where that becomes also important to start laying the kind of puzzle that you want to lay, not just the puzzle that someone else would think would be pretty. So what can be helpful in this stage is to have a little bit of a structure. If you feel at loss with, okay, I have so many different puzzle pieces, I don't know where the blanks are, I don't know how to fit them together, what can be helpful is to have some sort of structure in this stage. So if you're writing a book, for example, that structure might be, okay, I know that I need a main character, I know that I need a storyline, I know that I need a setting, and going to resources that can help you find a little bit of a structure and ask those questions and point at the blanks, that can be helpful. And I want to leave you with an exercise as well. So if you're sitting here like, oh, puzzle pieces, I still don't know quite what to do to have those brilliant creative ideas that you want to have, I have an exercise for you. So I want you to take a notebook, preferably a notebook that is dedicated just to your ideas and inspiration, and bring that notebook to somewhere that you find inspiring. So maybe that's a cafe that you like to just sit and people watch and sip a cup of tea or coffee and just sort of open your mind a little bit. Maybe that's a library, maybe it's the forest, bring it on a hike. What kind of atmospheres would be interesting and inspiring for you? Bring your notebook to that place and start taking notes for things that you just piques a little bit of interest, things that feel a little bit inspiring, things that sparks your curiosity, and start just taking down notes. And you can do the same, you can do this with different places that you visit. Maybe you go to a museum and look at things, but you can also do this throughout your everyday life as well. Preferably do both. So if you see a post on Instagram that you're like, this Instagram post really inspires me, that sparks something inside of me. Try to note all of these different things down and challenge yourself a little bit and ask yourself, okay, so what is it about this that interests me? Why is it inspiring? Because that is also where you're digging beneath the surface and digging into, okay, what is it about that thing that inspires you? So the different things that I've been inspired by with conversations and complexity, the actual works that I've been inspired by are quite different. Like I said, it's been podcasts, it's been Instagram accounts, it's been fiction books. So on the outside they look very different, but if we dig beneath the surface just a little bit, they have a lot of connections. They are, the things that inspire me are the same things. So this is what we want to try to do and see, okay, so something that keeps coming back. Look for those threads. What keeps coming back in your notebook? And you can do this over a long stretch of time or just as a sort of small inspiration burst. Allow this to take a little bit of time as well. Sometimes I think we are a little bit impatient and we want to start seeing those things quickly. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. If you've been away from creativity for a long time, or maybe you have had a lot of creative output a little bit in the recent past, maybe you're a little bit sort of drained on inspiration, and to start just gathering these things can lay the foundation for the next project or the next idea that you want to have. So that is my idea process that I wanted to share with you today. Hope you go out and have some brilliant ideas. I would love to hear if there are ideas that you are having at the moment, things that you're inspired by, or come back to this video and share what kind of things that you're noting around you that are inspiring to you. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are interested in exploring more about the kind of work that I do one-to-one coaching, I do other things. I have a bi-weekly email letter that I send out. Look at the links down in the description as well. So yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!